starting this video out just with a huge thank you to everybody, and Heatwave Visual, you guys make the best glasses. These are the SOCOM Cletus, obviously the Hell Yeah Brothers. These are just ridiculous. I've had some boosted lights, which actually I usually wear. These things are just crazy, but we got parts plethora. Just plethora of crap to deal with. Some of it's for the 240. I think some of it's for the Envoy. We're gonna get it all open, but first let's jump into the car. Is still completely full of everything from the event, so I probably want to empty it and diagnose what happened, which I'm still not sure. The drive home, it was fine, so it wasn't quite not making boost, it was just breaking up. So lots of fun, lots of so's and lots of stuff to do today, but let's jump into all that stuff. So I figured this would be a good thing to do. Go ahead and fuel pump a few. I mean, it fired up. Doesn't sound like it's missing or anything. A little, what, over 80 pounds of oil pressure. I know you're grumpy. Check fuel pressure, because that's what I'm thinking it is. Gonna turn on the alt, we're just gonna make the belt squeal like magic. I gotta figure that out, because it'll stop in just a second. That time it's not stopping, which is different, and it's a way lean. Oh. So idea real quick, noticing it's a little lean. Before I go ahead and yank the plugs and stuff, I just, see if it'll focus in here, threw in an old school MS Turbo boost gauge. This actually works where mine took a shit recently. Or, yeah. So let's try out, see what happens. Filming and driving is like impossible to do in this car, especially with how crappy my roads are. But get that out of my face, camera. It's making boost. It's just doing it very haphazardly. It sounds really weird too, so let's give it a little bit of a chooch here and see what happens. It made boost that time. Just, oh, shitty road. Oh, see, I told you. Ow. So, AFRs, what's 1.5? Okay, I gotta do some conversions here. I'm gonna go ahead and close this for a minute and take my filming stuff in the house and just... So, 1.5 kg CM2 to PSI. Let's go ahead and put that screenshot in here and realize just what was probably going wrong there was, seems like everything's great until it makes max boost, which is 20 plus pounds. That's a whole bunch of boost there, so that's not something that I'm gonna be allowing to have happen anymore. So decided to screw it. Why not? Get some content going, right guys? This is the gate spring that came out of it, and let's see if you can see this. That is a stiff boy. That is a VS Racing spring that I had laying around. Parts order, like I said. I can squeeze this one. I could barely pick this one up with one hand. I cannot squeeze it. So they're the same diameter. Wastegate spring is a wastegate spring. The diaphragm looks cool. I'm gonna throw this all back together. It is a tile gate, however you pronounce that. Throw this guy back together and then take it around and see if it makes a little less boost. I don't need 20 pounds right now. I'll need 20 pounds when it's tuned and I want to make 400 horsepower. Right now I don't. Yeah, let's just see what happens. I want cams and stuff first. Link, all that. Big injectors, snake eaters. I want 4 of those bad boys. I'll modify a rail, a radium rail to make it fit, but enough talking. Let's get this together. I had an Adam LZ hoodie on to start this video. I was nice, I was clean, I was filling the car up with power steering fluid, everything was going great, and then it wasn't. Peek down here and see everything looks to be the same. It's just that banjo bolt and then where it goes down into the rack, which I can barely get to, so I'm gonna lay on the ground and do it here, right in front of the house. And of course, the magic of editing. Wait, what? So, now you're starting to see probably what I'm seeing where the problem started. So the difference in the banjos was not really necessarily the main issue there. It was the fact that this one I had as a spare was probably a spare because, let's see if it will zoom in, which it's not going to, but that fitting has a real big problem about halfway up. It's either like a grinder mark or something. Started to get it in the rack, then it started to strip the rack, which I panicked. Got the rack cleaned back up so a fitting will go back into it fine. But now I'm sitting here wondering, what am I gonna do for a power steering line, and I can't get one in time to drift, and something just bing, idea mode. So we're sitting here, magnet. Well, now I know these fittings are metal. That's a good sign. And they're both -6. We come over here and we see, wait, we have 2 banjos. And this is a perfectly good pressure fitting that will thread into the rack no problem. Yeah, I'm about to make a power steering line. Let's just jump right into that thing. Whew. So, get it to focus. I love living in a logging town. They knocked this thing out real fast. 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. Almost couldn't say that real fast. Real fast, real fast, real fast. Today's just one of those days. Went ahead and welded the fittings on. And then, because I was worried about one of the spots where the pores looked like it didn't get, you know, penetration all the way through, I went ahead and JB welded it on top of the welds. But I know it's not going to break. I just want to make sure that tacks up a little bit. So while that's doing that, we're going to go ahead and assemble it back on the car. And then I'm gonna get that boost gauge actually mounted so it's close to the AFR gauge. So I'm not having to do the whole while I'm driving, because that doesn't work. Talk about mess. So while this thing is going ahead and idling its way away, making sure the power steering fluid is full. The amount of crap I went through to get 3 fittings to actually work and be something. I mean, I have made a mess everywhere. I had this manifold sitting next to this stuff because I was doing something last night with the Envoy, and then this morning I go to fill everything up and I have another fitting leaking, and it's just one fitting after another fitting after another fitting. So get under here real quick and show you guys. Giant mess, of course. So I welded this up with my TIG welder, and then I threw a little JB welder on to seal it. Same with the one below it down there. Those are just -6 to the end of the factory hard lines. They seem great, nothing's leaking. The JB weld is just to make sure any pores were sealed up, because I don't trust my welds for some reason. With little stuff like that, structural, no biggie. We'll go ahead and try and get under the car here and see if I can see any of this. But I made a new little wastegate dump just so everything is cool. I gotta tuck that up, a couple zip ties, and nothing seems like it's leaking anymore. So I'm gonna let this go a little longer, check to make sure all the fittings are solid, clean everything up a little bit, wipe it down with some rags, and then I'm thinking, let's get the GoPro in, and I'm gonna take this thing out, and I want to hear this gate. I wanna make sure the AFRs are good and solid, and I'm gonna beat the crap out of it, because I'm mildly frustrated, so let's do this. So, now that I'm cleaned up, got the car back together, power steering line's on, drove it out front. We're going for a rip, we're gonna take it, and I'm gonna do a pull, and I wanna see it full pull, and I wanna make sure it works. So, from there, go ahead and figure out the coil pack stuff and the fuel pump stuff when it shows up, hopefully Thursday or Friday, which would be tomorrow or the following day. GoPro's ready, so we can get a nice solid, I might even do my window down a little bit. I wanna hear the gate, power steering seems great, so we'll go from there. But then we'll end the video. It's been like 3 days of me messing with this, so I gotta get something up. Talk to you guys in a
Of course, it doesn't film that clip at all, but at least it got the stuff on the GoPro. I'm gonna have to check the memory card on the G7. It's being a little finicky, which is weird. I don't think it's full, but we got the car. We got an end to this video, and I got a great spot for a great thumbnail, right? Like, that is something. It doesn't seem like it's leaking at all, which is great. Everything seems like it's holding. I'm gonna go ahead and get the car home, and we'll let you guys go with this one. You know what it is, Average Joe's channel. Catch you guys next time.